Welcome, everyone. This is day 2 of the 2023 North American 21-day Sahaja Yoga course. I'm Mark, and I'm in northern New Jersey. So yesterday we had our day 1, and that's where we introduced Sahaja Yoga and went through the steps to get to a state of silence. So today we're going to expand that state. We're going to learn more about Sahaja Yoga. We'll have a guided meditation to expand on and strengthen the experience that we had yesterday. And if you missed yesterday, today we will be giving you the same basic introduction. We'll also have a video of the founder of Sahaja Yoga, Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, and live music. Just to let you know that if you do miss a class, all the sessions are live streamed on YouTube and they're all recorded. So you can always reassure friends and family that if they miss it or they come late, they can watch it at a convenient time. We aim to keep the program to 1 hour. And after that, if you think you're done with the program, that's the end of our program. But people who want to stay on and ask questions or share their experiences will stay on for about another 30 minutes. Just a reminder that everything about Sahaja Yoga is free. You'll never be asked to pay for any of the knowledge or experience or what we know to be truth and joy. So I would like to introduce the presenters for today's program. So first I met David a little, well, not quite 40 years ago. Hi, David.
Hi, Mark.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I'm joining you from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga since 1982, a little over 40 years. And I feel very privileged to share with you this experience tonight. And I look forward to joining you all on your inner journey.
All right, what a treat to spend some time with David. And our next presenter I'd like to introduce is Shilan, who's from my hometown, Vancouver. Hi, Shilan. Say a few things.
Hello, good evening. My name is Shilan Zaid. I am from Vancouver, Canada. I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga since 2010, and I'm pleased to be here and meeting you, everyone. It's an amazing journey to take together. Thank you for having me.
Okay, and Abhishek, what will you be playing today and on what instrument?
Yeah, so I'll be playing the Sarod for you today. It's a 26-stringed instrument. It has no frets. It's a traditional Indian instrument. And yeah, I'll be playing Rageshri, which is a lovely evening melody. So hopefully everyone enjoys it, and hopefully it facilitates getting into the state of meditation. So, and yeah, very glad to be here. So thank you.
Very much looking forward to it. So now I will pass the spotlight to my dear friend, Dave.
Thank you so much, Mark. And thank you all for joining us tonight. I thought, perhaps it might be instructive to share with you all a small part of my story and how I began on this path of Sahaja Yoga meditation and what I learned from those early experiences. I basically began my seeking when I graduated from architecture school and became licensed and then began to practice my profession. And I basically wanted more. I'd kind of gone through school and achieved my goals there, and I just wanted something more. So I began to seek. And I expressed that seeking through reading voraciously about anything having to do with spirituality. And I did that for more than a year. And towards the end of this process, while I felt like I was gaining some knowledge, I wasn't experiencing anything that I was reading about. And thus you'll find in this course that we will really focus on the experience first and use the knowledge to support it rather than the other way around. So I decided at the end of this more than year-long process of reading that I would need to go and actually do something in person. And I came across a Sahaja Yoga through a speaker at a class that I was attending, and I began to practice meditation. And, for probably a fair number of weeks, while I was feeling things, I wasn't experiencing it in a full way because I had damaged myself a bit in my seeking, particularly this center here, which controls how much you feel on your hands. And so I was practicing every day, but I urge you all to be patient with yourselves and not to place undue expectations, because that was my experience initially. But on a Sunday morning, while I was by myself practicing meditation at home, I had an experience that my rationality could neither deny or explain. And so I was, sitting, and I was doing an attention exercise that I had read about in a magazine about Sahaja Yoga called Nirmala Yoga. And it basically involved, guiding your attention through different parts of the subtle system. And I was doing this to try to become thoughtless. And after doing this for a period of time, I basically got frustrated and just said in myself, Shri Mataji, I surrender. I can't do this. And the moment that I did that, I began to feel a movement at the base of my spine. And it felt like a rising column of cool water, like a fountain, just very slowly rising along the central channel. And I remember when it got to the heart, I thought to myself, oh my God, it's really happening. And then thinking, oh, I shouldn't think because maybe it will stop. But fortunately it didn't. And it kept rising through and past the sixth center and into the fontanelle area. And then it emitted from the top of my head. And I began to feel a cool breeze flow all over my body and on my hands. And my mind, it was like a switch got turned off. I became completely thoughtless. And I entered this state of peaceful joy, just enjoying the beauty of existence. And I sat in that state for quite some time before I finally became conscious of my body once again. And then I decided to get up and walk a short distance to a park, Balboa Park in San Diego. And I spent that afternoon sitting under a tree, just watching people and nature and enjoying that beautiful state of thoughtless awareness. And after this whole experience, I began to reflect on what I had learned. And there were several things that were very tangible. The first was, this is not based on our effort. The moment that I surrendered the effort of manipulating my attention, this awakening occurred in and of itself as a part of just a living process. Also, I learned that this wasn't based on knowledge. It was an actual experience, something that was completely beyond thought, beyond rationality. I also learned that we must rise above the mind, because the entire time I was in this state, my mind was completely inactive. And yet I was enjoying a joyful and blissful state. And I also reflected that, my gosh, Sahaja Yoga actually begins with self-realization. The process that I was reading about, taking many years to attain, it actually begins with that. And the meditation itself is actually a byproduct of that inner happening. So it is actually the awakening and the rising of the Kundalini and its passage beyond this point and its entry into the limbic area that produces the state of true meditation, of thoughtless awareness. And I've never forgotten this in all my years of practice of Sahaj, that it is really opening ourselves and creating the conditions to allow something to occur, to allow this living process to work within us. It is really not based upon our effort. So I'd also like to share with you a little bit about the nature of Shri Mataji. And in India, gurus tend to be men who are very strict disciplinarians, real taskmasters. Shri Mataji, however, was very much the nurturing mother as a guru and the antithesis of this. And I'll tell you a brief story that illustrates this. My first meeting with Shri Mataji was to take place in 1983 when she came to Los Angeles, and she was arriving at LAX. And I arrived in a car and jumped out of the car and made my way towards the gate where Shri Mataji would be arriving. And I was very rapidly ascending the stairs because I was so excited and anxious to meet her that as I reached the top of the stairs, I happened to glance over my shoulder to the left, and there was Shri Mataji going down the escalator in the opposite direction. And I realized that I had to go all the way back down to actually try to meet her. And by the time I got there, there were throngs of people there waiting. So I was standing at the back, probably 7 or 8 rows deep, with tears in my eyes because I realized that I wasn't going to get to formally meet Shri Mataji. Fast forward a year later, I was on the India tour, which happened in the 80s and the 90s, where Shri Mataji would invite Sahaja Yogis from the West to come to India and to travel with her in different parts of India for the period of a whole month. And I happened to find myself in a car with Shri Mataji driving towards Pandharpur. And in a period of silence, Shri Mataji looked over at me and she said, "Dave, I remember when I first met you, you had tears in your eyes, and I did also." And I just started to get goosebumps on my arms because I realized I had no idea that she had even noticed that I was there in that first meeting at LAX. But this showed me that she doesn't miss a thing. And in fact, she told this story when introducing me to other people many years later. On many occasions, this is the Westerner who had tears in his eyes when he first met me. So this was the quality of a mother. And later, I had the great privilege of introducing Sahaja Yoga and Shri Mataji in many public programs all over the US and Canada over a period of many years. And she traveled tirelessly for decades and always had great compassion for all of the seekers that came to meet her. And I can remember once that we had organized a program in Hawaii where Shri Mataji had asked my wife Madhuri and I to go to start Sahaja Yoga. So we had gone ahead and prepared the ground for a public program for Shri Mataji. And we had booked this beautiful venue at a neoclassical Beaux-Arts building in downtown Honolulu with a beautiful tree-covered courtyard, twilight at night, and thinking that it would be a beautiful outdoor venue because the nature is very gentle there and the climate very gentle to have a public program with Shri Mataji. And as the time neared for the public program to start, clouds began to gather on the horizon, ominous looking clouds. And those of you who are familiar with the tropics, nature is very active. And when Shri Mataji arrived, she basically sat down in her chair, just began to speak, and a gentle rain began to fall. And we decided that we had to move indoors because the rain was gradually increasing in intensity, and we couldn't all sit outside and get soaked. But there were no other rooms inside the building that were available. So Shri Mataji said, let's just go into this hallway here near the courtyard and we'll do the program there. So we all gathered all the people that had come. This was a long corridor, about 15, 20 feet wide. And they all sat down. And I remember asking Shri Mataji, should we bring in the chair? We had a nice, comfortable chair for her to sit in. And we asked her if we should bring that in for her to sit. And she pointed over to a wall where there were a stack of metal chairs sitting. And she said, just bring me one of those. And so I picked up the chair, opened it, and Shri Mataji sat on this folding metal chair for an hour and a half, gave an entire public program talk, much like what you're going to listen to a little bit later tonight, and then met with every individual seeker that came to ensure that they felt it, that they had the experience, and that they were able to become thoughtlessly aware. And he even worked on many of them, all the while sitting on this folding metal chair. So showing her great compassion and her complete detachment from her surroundings, it turned what could have been an unfortunate occurrence into a wonderful and beautiful experience for all that came. So what is the purpose of our self-realization and of meditation? Some of us come to this practice for better health, to reduce stress, maybe to obtain a modicum of inner balance, but I would say to you that that is the absolute minimum that we should expect from this experience. The minimum. Because Shri Mataji always said, even in the public program last night, if you all were in attendance, the purpose of our self-realization is to become the spirit. But how do we do that? Well, through our self-realization, the Kundalini awakens, but initially only a few strands of what is really a thick rope of energy actually awaken and can pierce through the subtle centers. But over time, as we continue to meditate, more and more strands of this Kundalini rise up and the chakras open more fully. And we are on a daily basis forging the link to that connection with our spirit. And eventually, we get to a point where enough of that Kundalini has risen that we can sustain the state of thoughtless awareness, and the qualities of the spirit the ideal qualities begin to express themselves in our attention. The spirit before realization is just like a witness, watching at the back how we live our lives. But as we progress in our realization and we establish that connection to the spirit, it begins to express its ideal qualities in our being. Eventually, the spirit, which in the subtle system resides in the location of the heart, actually moves and takes its seat in the brain, so that our thoughts, our desires, and our actions all become reflective of the qualities of the spirit. Instead of thinking about becoming a more loving or forgiving person, we just become, because we have those qualities enshrined within us. And these begin to express as our hold on our self-realization, and the depth of this Kundalini awakening increase over time. So this is the journey that we're all on together. And I'm very pleased to be taking it with you all. So at this juncture, I'd like to turn it over to Shilan, who will take us through the experience itself.
Thank you, David, for this amazing journey, and I appreciate it for all the experience you've shared with all of us. So enlightening. For this journey that we're about to take, we're going to have a quick introduction. We'll be watching the slides, how this energy will need to be awakened. This is a one-time only. Last night, some of you were here and you've done it. So if you've done it, it's okay. We can repeat again. For those of you who join us for the first time, we're going to experience it all together. So the slide shows that where your hands reside, as we're going to point it in different directions. And for that, while we're processing this energy Kundalini awakening within us, I will need you to close your eyes. But before that, let's have a quick demonstration what we need to be doing. Okay, so our body obviously has the physical body, and then the layer internally that we know the heart is there, all the organs there, and the subtle system that we're going to awaken. This energy that is dormant within us, we're going to allow this energy to wake up and go through our entire body and then feel it above our head. How can we do that? Easily. We'll find a comfortable spot where you can sit on a chair or on the floor, wherever you feel comfortable, somewhere that you can take this a few minutes time to allow this energy be awakened and reason within. So keep your both hands simply on your laps, as you see in the picture, okay? For this technique of awakening, all I need you to do is to use your right hand for taking this action at the moment. So we put our right hand on our heart, as you see in the screen. There will be an affirmation. I will ask you to repeat. You don't have to say it out loud. You can just say it internally with pure attention, full attention internally when you have your hand on your heart. Then you move your hand on a lower abdomen where your rib cage is, on your left hand side. So right hand on your left side of your kidney where the rib cage is, and you press. There will be another affirmation there. Then slowly you will bring your hand down to the lower abdomen. I will tell you another affirmation. Then slowly bring your hand back to the upper abdomen where you feel your rib cage on your left hand side. Then slowly you will bring your hand back to your heart. Then your right hand goes between your neck and your shoulder. You can turn your head to the right and lower, and then leave your hand there. Then slowly you will turn your head back to the center. You will bring your hand on your forehead. You allow your head to rest, just like that. Bring your head back to the center, and then back of your head. You allow your head to rest on your hand, just like that. And then finally, and most importantly, with the palm of your right hand, you will massage the top of your head, the crown of your head. And that's where you will say the affirmation to get your realization. And then after that, you will raise your hand a few inches above your head to see if you can feel any cool or hot breeze. Now slowly bring your hand down, and then you try with your left hand. Same thing, a few inches above your head, just like that. maybe a little bit closer to the back or higher up. And then you bring your hand down slowly. We will stay in that meditation state while we'll be watching Shri Mataji's talk after that. When we watch Shri Mataji's talk, I want you to keep your attention right above here, where we massage and we check the energy. Okay? So whenever you're ready, find your comfortable seat. Have your back straight wherever you are. You can lean your back against the wall or your couch, but it's better to have your spine all straight. While we're going through all these affirmations, I want you to keep your eyes closed. It's really important to keep your eyes closed, please. All right, take a deep breath and close your eyes. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in one more time. And breathe out. And one more time. And breathe out. Now, let your left hand rest on your lap and right hand on your heart. And here, ask myself, who am I? Ask 3 times. Who am I? Who am I? Now, slowly bring your hand on your rib, left hand side, and say, am I my own master? Ask myself 3 times. Am I my own master? Am I my own master? Now, slowly bring your hand to the lower abdomen and press. And here you want to ask your pure energy, the motherly Kundalini, please give me pure knowledge. Mother, please give me pure knowledge. Say it 6 times. Please give me pure knowledge. Ask sincerely. You don't have to say it loud. and take your time. Good. Now, slowly bring your hand back to the upper abdomen. And here, with full confidence, you say, I am my own master. I am my own master. Now that I have pure knowledge, awaken within, I have the light. I don't blindly follow false knowledge, false information. I am my own master. Say it 10 times. Oh, dear energy, Mother Kundalini, I am my own master. Now, bring your hand back to your heart. And here, I say, I am pure spirit. Say it 12 times. I am pure spirit. With full confidence, I'm not this body, I'm not this ethnicity, I'm not this color. I am pure spirit. Now, slowly bring your hand between your shoulder and neck on left hand side and turn your head to the right and bottom. And here you say, I am not guilty. I am pure spirit. I am not guilty. Say it 16 times. After all, how can I be guilty if I'm pure spirit? I am not guilty. Now, slowly bring your hand to your forehead. Allow your forehead rest on your palm. And here we say, I forgive. I forgive myself. I forgive my thoughts. I forgive everybody. Now, as we say that, thoughts may rush. We may remember people. We may remember our thoughts. We'll just say, not this, not now. I forgive. I forgive. I forgive. Doesn't matter how many times. Just say, I forgive my thoughts, myself, and everybody. Say it. Say it sincerely, I forgive. Good. Bring your head back to the center. And then now take your back to the back of your head and allow your head rest there. For our satisfaction, say if I've done anything wrong, intentionally, unintentionally, you forgive me. You ask yourself, your mother energy, mother Kundalini, universe, if I've done anything wrong, you forgive me. Now gently bring back your head to the center. Now with the palm of your hand, you massage top of your head, the crown of your head. And here you say it 7 times. And you have to desire it and you have to want it. You say, please give me my self-realization. Mother Kundalini, Mother Energy, Universe, please give me my self-realization. Say it 7 times as you massage. Press and gently massage. Now, good. Now slowly raise your hand a few inches above your head and keep your attention there. Keep your attention and see if you feel any cool breeze or warm or both. You can lower your hand a little bit or raise a few inches higher. Good. Now bring your right hand down slowly and let's try with your left hand right above fontanel bone area, the crown of our head, a few inches above, and see if we feel any cool breeze, warm, or both. Good. Just keep your attention right there. Bring your hand down slowly and keep your eyes closed for just a minute. Allow this energy flow and settle. Just keep your eyes closed and allow this beautiful energy flow through our body. Any thoughts come, say not this, not now. Not this, not now. Now, slowly open your eyes. Slowly open your eyes and let's try one more time, checking this energy with right hand, right above our head, just right here. And see if we feel any cool or warm or both. And try to keep your attention for as long as possible here. Now, bring your right hand down and let's try with left. Cool or warm, closer or a little bit higher. You can keep your left hand for just a second longer. Very good. Perfect. Good. Now bring your hand down. We'll be watching Shri Mataji's talk for a few minutes. Keep both hands open like this as you relax, and you can just lean back. But I want you to keep your eyes open. Okay, perfect.
I bow to all the seekers of absolute truth. At the very outset, I have to say that truth is truth. This absolute truth cannot be changed because it is absolute. It cannot be transformed. It cannot be explained because it cannot be described. Truth has to be experienced. It's an experience. In Sanskrit language, we have a word called Veda, comes from the word Vida. with the means to know on your central nervous system. Like I can feel this. In the same way, you must know the truth on your fingertips. Bodha, also from where the word Buddha has come, is that enlightenment you have to feel it on your central nervous system. So this absolute truth is what it was and is and will be. But I would request you not to believe me, because this blind faith has caused so much trouble to us. All the people are fighting all over the world with this blind faith. They believe in this and they believe in that, believe in that. This kind of faith is not going to help us. We have to feel it ourselves and experience it. Unless and until you experience, please don't have faith in me or in Sahaja Yoga. Very important it is to understand that this absolute truth is beyond your mind. We think no end of our mind. And all those who came from my country as well as from your own country to deceive you and make money out of you have used their mind very well. And your mind could not detect it. Even today they are there. So for you to see what is the truth, you must know that you cannot purchase it with money. This is very difficult to digest. Many people told me in America, Mother, you can never be successful, you cannot get people, because they just believe that the person who doesn't take money has no validity. My experience was so horrible. In Boston, they asked me in the television, how many Rolls Royces you have? I have none. I said, my husband has only one car. So you are not in the business? No. Then they said, we cannot. We are sorry. You have to be in the business. So all these mental acrobats that have been going on in this country, I've been hoping to come to Berkeley. That everybody told me that Berkeley is a place where there are people who are truly seeking the truth, and they are revolutionary. They do not accept anything that is just established. Imagine after so many years, 27 years, I am coming to Berkeley, where I was really very anxious to come. So now, the time has come that we have to know the truth. We have to know the absolute truth. I call it as a blossom time, because I find there are so many seekers of truth all over the world. And this time has come for these flowers to become the fruit. Very simple thing to understand, that this is done by a power within you, as explained to you. Whether you believe it or not, it is there. This power has to be awakened, that's all. It's a very simple thing, journey of 3 to 4 feet, that's all. But such a simple thing people don't want to accept. If you say eat this way, they'll say no, why not this and this way? Because of this mind. This mind is the one which has created real problems for us. I'm told some gentleman is making big money by telling that how to project this mind here and a project mind there. It's like a cocoon. In a cocoon, you dash here and dash there. You have to get out of it. When they said you have to be born again, clearly, that doesn't mean that you put a signboard here, born again. No? Born again means something has to happen to your consciousness, to your awareness. You have to be truthful about it. How can you be satisfied with something which is not the truth? So what is the truth? Truth, if you understand, is not this body, this mind. These emotions, these thoughts and this ego, but it is that you are the pure spirit.
We'll continue to stay in meditation for another minute. We can keep our eyes closed. Try to be in silence.
Let's just continue in our meditative state for a minute or so. Just maintain our silence with our eyes closed. And now we can slowly open our eyes. And thank you, Abhishek, for that beautiful performance. Very meditative. So what we wanted to share with you all now is basically setting the stage for meditation. And we're going to share a couple of practices that are typically done both at the beginning, before we start meditation, and at the end of our meditation to maintain it. So the first of these practices is basically called raising our Kundalini. And we do this so that we can actually get into the state of meditation, because as we've heard earlier tonight, meditation begins when the Kundalini has risen. So in order to do this practice, we sit down in the place where we normally meditate. I would advise, if you haven't already, setting aside a place where you meditate each day, and you do just that. It can just be a little corner of a room, but something that you dedicate to that practice, to yourself. And you sit down with your palms open and on your lap, and you place your left hand, which is typically passive, and we're receiving vibrations through the left hand, and we're actually more active with the right hand side of action. We place the left hand in front of the lowest center, the first center, and we place our right hand above it. And then with our attention on the left hand and our right hand circling away from the body, we very slowly raise the left hand in front of the central channel, tilt the head back, and give it a twist, as if tying a knot and fixing our attention and our Kundalini above the seventh center. Then we do it again, placing our left hand back down in front of the lowest center, our right hand above it, and circling with our right hand away from the body, slowly raising our left hand in front of the central channel. We tilt the head back and once again tie it in a knot. And then the third and final time, we once again place the left hand in front of the lowest center, right hand above it, circling away from the body. We slowly raise our left hand and our attention along the central channel. Tilt the head back, and this time we act as if tying a knot once, tying it twice, and tying it a third time. And this basically helps to set the stage for meditation and for the Kundalini to start flowing through the Sahasrara. The second technique is called a bandhan, bandhan, which basically means a bond of protection that we put around ourselves so that our meditation remains undisturbed. And we basically do this by having our left hand open and on our laps, or just extended in front of us. And our right hand we place in front of the left hand side of the body at the second center. And we very slowly raise our right hand up the left hand side of the body, over the top of the head, and down the right channel, down to the bottom. And then we raise the right hand up the right hand channel, back over the top of the head, and down the left. And over and back is one complete bandhan. And we do this for each of the 7 chakras. And if it helps you to not have to count, you can just put your attention on the first center, put the bandhan, then raise your attention to the second center, then raise the right hand up the left hand channel, down the right, then back up the right channel and down the left. So that's 2. We raise the attention to the nabi, the third center, raise the energy on the left hand side over the top and down the right, and then back. Raise our attention to the fourth center, the heart, over, and then back. Then raise the attention to the fifth center. Raise the left hand, the right hand in front of the left and down the right, and back. Then put our attention on the sixth center, the ajna. Raise the right hand in front of the left, over to the right, and back. And then finally, place our attention in the seventh center and raise right hand up the left hand side and down the right channel, and then back. And this, then we basically go into meditation and establish our state of thoughtless awareness. And we sit like this for whatever period that we can remain thoughtless. In the beginning, it's not the duration that's so important, but the frequency, and that we try this on our own every day, in addition, perhaps, to even what we do in this program, and beyond it, of course. And then once our meditation ends, we once again raise the Kundalini 3 times as we did at the beginning, place ourselves into bandhan, and then we go out into our active day. And we do this so that we maintain our state of thoughtless awareness even when we get up from our meditative state, and we take that out with us into our active day. And we place ourselves in bandhan again to protect the subtle system, which is now open and working and flowing as we go into our active day and do whatever we do. So this is a good bookend to the meditation that you do both at the beginning and at the end. And with that, I'll turn it back over to our host and my friend, Mark.
So we ran about 15 minutes over time, which means that we just flow. We call that Sahaja, where we have a plan and then we see what actually happens. And that's, of course, part of the fun. So let me tell you about what's going to happen tomorrow in our program. So day 1, an introduction, day 2, an introduction and an expansion. And tomorrow we're going to learn about how we work with our attention and how we maintain the state of inner balance, even when there's things that are trying to pull us out of the center. Also, I'd like you to know that we have a website, and that's where you can find the recording of this program. So that's yesterday and today and going forward. you'll find a place on the website that says recorded. And the recordings are there. You'll notice that if we mention a technique, we'll make a handout and we'll post it to that day. So today and yesterday, we've showed you different steps to raise your own Kundalini energy. And so that handout is now available as a PDF to download from the website. So day by day, we will demonstrate new techniques. And if we feel further explanation is needed, there's a handout that you can refer to. So now we'd like to also show that the resources are all together in that one place. Yep. And also now we'd like to welcome people who have to go, to thank them so much for attending and forgive us for being so sahaja and flowing with the time. If you do want to stay on a bit longer, this is now the time where you can put yourself on camera, turn on your mic, and share your experience. What did you feel today? Was it different from yesterday? If today was your first time, do you have any questions about what you were feeling? So there's different ways that you can pose your questions. We're going to try to limit the question and answering time to about 30 to 45 minutes. So if you think I really want this question answered and I don't think I want to wait because maybe I'll miss out because other people will get ahead of me, then in the chat, you can post to the breakout room request person and say, I want to ask a question and I want to pose it in a breakout room. Or I felt something today, or I felt something yesterday, and I have a question about that. And I would like to ask somebody about that sooner rather than later. So I'd like to be in a breakout room. So there are good friends of mine that are assembling these breakout rooms based on your requests, and give them some time to get the breakout room ready for you, because there is somebody who is a teacher of Sahaja Yoga ready to help you out, but it can take up to about 5 minutes. So a little patience is requested once you say, I would like a breakout room. Also, if you like, we also have people who are looking at the chat and they'll answer your questions in the chat. So in the Zoom chat, you can also pose your questions. So also we invite you to invite family and friends. The other thing you can do is that if there's something that you missed or you think you want something more explained, again, you can ask for a breakout room. Now we have a WhatsApp group, and that means that when you go to the website, you'll find a link to join our WhatsApp group. And that's a way to get a daily message from us and reminders about the program. And we'll put a link to that WhatsApp group in the chat as well. Last night, somebody said I could really use somebody to kind of be like my coach or my mentor to work with me one-on-one. And so definitely during this 2023 course, we're going to offer this opportunity to people that if you want to work with somebody, not necessarily within the time of this program, but at other times that are mutually convenient, we're working on that. And we'll be setting up a way that you can be matched with a one-on-one Sahaja Yoga teacher. And concern yourself with things that are personal to your life, and you want that additional personal support. So early next week, we should have that set up, and we'll start being able to find somebody who can work with you on a one-on-one basis. So now, if you're still with us, I guess it means that you'd like to share an experience or ask a question. And I'd like to introduce an additional person to our meeting. So answering questions this evening will be David and Shilan and another good friend of mine, Victoria. And this is pretty cool for me because when I went down to San Diego visiting from Vancouver, I met David And wow, what a friend, what a brother. And I also met Victoria, and what an extraordinary person. And so this is a real treat to have all these connections. So hi, Victoria, just want to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Victoria, coming to you from New Canaan, Connecticut, and just delighted to be here with all these wonderful folks. It was a beautiful program this evening. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And I see there's lots of hands raised, so we'll probably get right to some of these questions.
All right. And I don't know if you can get your microphone a little louder, Victoria.
Yeah.
Okay. So a bunch of people asked questions last night, and so I'm sure you'll understand that we'd like to, people that didn't get a chance last night, that we'll ask them first. And then if we have time, we'll get to the people that already had a chance to ask a question last night. So we're delighted to see you back, and we hope we have time to get your question handled. If you think, oh, I don't think I'm going to make it, then ask for a breakout room, and then for sure you'll have a chance to get your question answered tonight. So I want to start with somebody that I didn't see ask a question last night, and that is Danya. Hi, Danya. So you have to unmute.
Okay. Am I audible?
We can hear you.
Great. You all are hearing me from Lincoln, Nebraska, USA. My question is with respect to the thoughts that we all have, even in yoga session or in our daily lives. Sometimes we have our thoughts regarding past, some worries regarding future, and also some things regarding our present moments. But then we have some thoughts regarding comparison. We are making comparison on the basis of like, sometimes we are not enough, and sometimes we are more than enough, or we are better than everybody else. So while being on this path of enlightenment and self-journey and self-realization, one thing that I learned earlier is that, okay, these are part of like going through and getting along with this part of enlightenment. There are stages when you will be feeling like you're not enough. Then you will feel like, okay, now I'm practicing yoga, I'm doing meditation, and I'm doing all these type of stuff. So it means that I'm better than everybody else. So these are like the voices of the egoistic being within a person. My question is, when we have like comparison, so it means that I am the believer of duality. So it means that I think that I am unique, I'm different than other beings. But when I am a true seeker, how can I deal with the thoughts that I feel that, okay, I am better than everybody else? This doesn't mean that I am a bad person or there is anything bad with my nature. But this is something that is like a true challenge for me.
Okay. Shilan, you want to answer the question?
Okay, sure. When I hear sharing your thoughts, I don't hear any ego or superego battling inside. It's a person who's trying to figure out a way where that center is. Where is that a balance in between is. The one thing that I encourage you to focus on when this energy is awakened, you become part of the whole universe. So suddenly you're nothing more, nothing less. You are part of the whole universe. And when we're part of it, then it's perfect, right? Then the thought settles down. There isn't any more. When we're here, thoughts will play around, say, am I better? Am I lesser? Am I this? Am I that? But truly, we are part of the whole being. Individually, we're really just bunch of thoughts that really plays around and manipulates us. But the bottom line is what we're trying to achieve is that thoughtless awareness where we witness ourselves as a whole being, part of the whole universe, remembering that we are pure spirit. remembering that we are part of everything, right? So the moment that we remember all of that, these nonsense thoughts that really triggers us will fade away. And then now the pure joy comes because you allow that energy flow and connect with everything else around you. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Perfect. And I encourage you to come to other classes, all the 21 sessions, and then we will have ongoing techniques, how you could settle down these thoughts. So then you can feel that being and being there, present. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I forgot to mention how to ask a question in Zoom. So there is somewhere in the interface where it says like raise a hand. So you can either raise your hand in your video and somebody should be able to spot you, or there's something you can click in Zoom that a little hand appears next to your video. Also, if you turn your video on, that helps us to notice you and go, this person has a question. So hello, Lori. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone. So last night when I was asking my question, there were some different people here. And this is in relation to that again. I'm curious what key that instrument was in that we listened to tonight. Did he say the key of G?
I didn't hear a key mentioned.
Is he still here?
Abhishek, are you still here?
Yeah, it was in C.
Oh, it was in C.
Yeah.
Which is what chakra? Is that I'll have to reference that because the reason I'm asking, I'm a musician and a singer. I had a much different response tonight than I did the first 2 times that I did this. And it's kind of in relation to a couple of things. I had a surgery back in 2014 and I never had any problems with my parasympathetic nervous system. And after that, my life was changed drastically. It broke my life force. I was having breathing problems. They damaged a lung. I was having episodes in my brain. I mean, I went through hell. And I'm starting to have breathing problems again. And I didn't expect it to happen right when I was coming on at 8:45, but I managed to take my mind off of it and calm myself down, and this whole thing helped. But while I was going through this, and when the instrument started, I didn't really have any feelings tonight. I felt it last night when we were going through the Kundalini, but I didn't feel it tonight during or after. But when the music started, I started crying uncontrollably. And I'm sure I know why. I just wanted to have some reinforcement. I had that reaction after my dad passed away, and I was going for sound meditation with the crystal singing bowls. And the guy had told me that it was the heart chakra, but I found out later that was not the key of the heart chakra that he was using.
Yeah. Do you want me to ask the musician, Lori, what the song was for? Because each song is designed for a particular aspect of our subtle system.
Yeah, he did
so
say
Abhishek,
that too.
that
Thank you for
particular raga
bringing
is
that up.
for what aspect?
So this raga is actually for the Sahasrara, you can say.
For the what?
The seventh energy center, which is also the seat of your heart, actually.
Oh. Well, there you have it.
Yeah. So
Okay. So Lori, if you
see what
want
you
to work one-on-one with somebody and, talk about different things that are important to you, I'm inviting you to join in our breakout room because I'd like to get on to the next person, if it's okay.
Thank you. Thank you
All
for
right.
letting me
So
know
great to
that.
see you again.
Thank you. Great seeing you too.
All right. Miriam, hello. And you just have to unmute Miriam.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, hi everyone. This was very lovely. I very much enjoyed it. I've actually been practicing Sahaja for a couple of months now, and I'm very glad to see that you have this 21-day workshop. It's a challenge to myself, I guess, to be able to do every night, right? To practice every night. Sometimes I don't. But my question is, I hear a lot of conversation and talk about the chakras, the subtle system. I'm not very educated in that aspect. Is this workshop going to touch base on any of the chakras and the meaning of them, or how they work in your central nervous system, or is that something that we should be doing on our own?
Okay, good question.
More?
Victoria, are we going to work on that?
We surely are. Again, as mentioned earlier, by Dave put it so well that it's really the experience that is the key to unlocking. I mean, you could say the ocean of knowledge, it's just bottomless. And it's fascinating, and it all is a wonderful built system inside of us, and it's all integrated and amazing. On the other hand, if we get too focused on that knowledge aspect before we've actually had a sustained experience of meditation, it just can kind of just pull us a little bit off the track. It's useful when it comes. You'll find, I'll just use a personal example. In the early days of meditation, I would often feel this finger, the left middle finger here, which corresponds to the third energy center or chakra. And I would sort of wonder, I'd wonder why was it catching or blocking, or, what was going on. And one day while meditating, I actually felt it clear. And then the knowledge to me came of why it was what was causing that block in myself. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's actually like the knowledge is inside of you, and it comes out when you have that meditation to give it a grounding. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Look, I have one other quick question, and then I'll let someone else. I find myself, and it's happened yesterday, today, and a couple other times. I find myself almost going into a kind of a comatose, sleepy stage where I still hear the directions of where your hands need to be, but I'm almost feel sleepy. Like, I guess it's because I'm so relaxed. Like during the whole affirmations, but I don't ever feel the coolness, not yet anyway. I'm hoping to get to that point, but I get to a point where I feel like I'm falling asleep almost, but I'm not, because I'm still hearing and listening and going through the motions and repeating the affirmations, 10 times, 18 times. But is that normal?
Yeah, that's very, very common. In the beginning, what's happening is your Kundalini is actually bringing you, or trying to bring you into the present moment, into the center. But we all have our lives, our stressors, our experiences, which do affect us. We might have had a day which was particularly speedy, and so your Kundalini is kind of bringing you back, and it can feel a little bit in the dozy way, because it's just trying to balance out what we call the left and right sides, which we'll go into a little more in the future sessions. So it's absolutely normal. Just if you can, the fact that you're noticing it is already great. It means that you're getting that perspective of your spirit rather than just your mental activity. So just notice it and kind of let it be. gently maybe bring your attention back there if you do feel a little of the doze coming on. But rest assured, it's our Kundalini is actually doing all of that for us, all that balancing, all of that healing, and it will balance out in no time, really.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I love the session, so thank you for putting this together.
All right. Looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Okay.
Here.
iPhone 4, can you give your name and maybe put your video on?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So my name is Tina, and I have a question. I've been meditating for about a year or so, and usually I feel left-sided heaviness, but now it's starting to go to right side, and I was wondering, what does that mean? Does that have any specific meaning? I almost like a headachy on the right side after my meditation is over.
Okay, David.
Hi. Yes, I mean, this is not uncommon. We do vary day to day based on what we encounter in our active lives. So one day we may have an experience where we're at work and we're having to go at a very heavy pace, and we kind of express more of the right side. And another day we may feel more emotional and have, if someone passes away, we go kind of to the left side and we begin to experience the pull of our emotions. And that can affect us for that evening's meditation or that morning's meditation the next day. And so we don't stay the same, every day based on what our subtle system becomes exposed to in our active life. So you'll find that the fact that you're seeing this and you're noticing it will allow you to correct it. And in this session of 21 days, we'll be going over clearing techniques that can help to balance the right side, to bring down, like if we become overactive on a particular day and we're using the right side energy, and the result of that is subtle heat, and we can sometimes feel that in the form of pain in the head. There are some very easy techniques that we can use to bring down the right side and to bring ourselves back into balance so that we're not experiencing that. But you will notice a change from day to day that is just based on what you're exposed to vibrationally, because now when your Kundalini is awakened and your chakras are open, you're going to be more sensitive, and you're actually, because your Kundalini is awake, you're actually clearing people around you. Your energy works on other people without you even necessarily being conscious of it. And so you absorb from the ambient environment of which you're a part on day to day. And that can have an effect on our vibrations. But the beauty of this is that you can feel it, you can diagnose it very quickly with the tools that we'll give you, and then you can correct that. And so it won't be something that is continuous, it'll be momentary.
Okay. Because I was hoping to feel more relaxed, not anxious, but then I have this headache and I'm like, what's going on? I was just wondering what was that about, but thank you. So I will continue go ahead.
Be patient with yourself, because, we're not machines. We don't stay the same every day. And I think if you just kind of be patient and let your Kundalini work through your meditation, you'll find that even the next day or a couple of days later, it will kind of find its level, because your Kundalini, as Victoria was saying, will kind of bring you back into the center, and it will kind of correct any bias that you've kind of had just because of the way you're living your life on that particular day.
Got you. Well, thank you. I will continue for 21 days and figure this out. So yes, I appreciate all you're doing. Thank you so much.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right. Hello, Jennifer. If you can.
Yeah, I'm coming. Hello.
Hi there.
How are you? Oh, I
Good.
can see myself. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm so enjoying this meditation. And I wanted to share that between last night and tonight, I'm always feeling very like comfortable and quiet and sleepy. But today I felt a sensation of coolness, mostly coolness. There was a little bit of heat, but coolness. And I think, I think Tina brought this up too, and David touched on it too, but I wanted a little bit more clarification on it. Is there any significance to the heating, cooling, what it means? Do I change it? And all that. Thank you.
All right, Shilan.
Okay, hi Jennifer. Yes, hello. So what happens is this energy is a newborn and suddenly trying to work its way out and allow all these chakras where they are actually like a disc inside us. It's not like facing out, it's actually like this, layered by layer all the way. So, and except the second chakra, all of them are turning and rotating clockwise. And because of the lifestyle we've had, or this energy has been dormant for a while, these chakras were not working properly like a clock, right? So all of a sudden it's trying to smooth things out, cleansing as it goes through all the way up. So from time to time, this energy tries to clear out, shifts from left to right. We have three centers, left, right, and center. Ideally, we want all these three centers parallel and then rising all the way out of our seventh chakra. But then again, this is a brand new energy. As David mentioned, it's just a couple of strands right now is activated. The more we meditate, the stronger this strength, it becomes like a strong rope. And then it allows all these chakras clearing itself out and then get stronger and expand through our subtle system and come all the way up. And then it works out instantly. So it becomes to a day that where immediately when you put your attention to something that is not working out internally or externally, the moment you put your attention into it, it works out. And then suddenly this heat, this warmth you feel, wherever you feel, it just works itself out. It's just a little bit of a patience, a little bit of practice, but the fact that you're feeling it now, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's there and it's working itself out. Yeah, I think you're on a mute.
Yes, thank you. No,
You're
so it
welcome.
seems like as long as there's like a change, a perception of sensation changes, then that's just evidence that the subtle system, like the energy is moving. It doesn't matter if it's heat, it doesn't matter if it's cool.
You will, I always put it that way, that it's a brand new you that you know. There is an additional layer of you that now aligns with your physics and everything else, your mind, your feelings, everything now is going to align. That's a brand new you, where you get to know yourself. So we've been disconnected from true ourselves, like the reality of ourselves. We've been disconnected for so long, and now we're connecting back. And then you say, oh, interesting. I'm able to do this. Oh, I feel this. And it's pretty interesting. It's a new discovery. It's a journey. It's not a destination that you will reach and everything will be done. Sahaja Yoga is a life. It's a lifestyle. Every breath you take in, every action you take in, every behavior, every sitting, every sleeping, all of that is going to be a brand new discovery. But it's a beautiful journey and you will enjoy that journey.
I already am. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Namaste. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we have time for one more question. Michelle, you've been very patient. Thank you for waiting.
Thank you. So my question is, when we're checking the seventh chakra and we're trying to sense a breeze, whether it's a cool breeze or a warm breeze, the sensation I get is if you had two magnets. Have you ever played with two magnets and you do this with them and you can feel like a sense of resistance between them? That's the sensation I get. And I find that it makes me a little nauseous. So I'm not sure what the significance of that is. And it has, whenever I have played with my crown chakra, I get this sense of nausea. So can anybody give me any enlightenment to what that might mean, that feeling of this, like this pull?
Okay, Victoria.
Yeah, hi. I would say that as we've touched upon, we all come with our experiences, whether they're from today or from this year or from life. And we'll all have, the state of our subtle system will be unique to each of us. I would say that if you feel something that's a little discomfort, like nausea, just take your right hand and place it where you're feeling that, because your energy is actually it's like a little scrub brush that's going inside all your centers and giving a good clean. When we feel it at the top of the head, that's when it means it's active in our system. So hopefully it won't be anything like, I've never experienced and seen anyone experience something that's overwhelming, like it's so powerful they fall on the floor. It's always like, it might be a little something that we register because we notice it, but it's nothing we can't really handle. And again, it's a great sign that your Kundalini is strong and is working on whatever needs a little bit of a clean or a balance inside you. And I think we'll get into that area of the body where you were feeling it in one of the future sessions. So definitely stick around for more. But it's great if you just can, with that assurance that it is working out, whether it's warm or cool, or you're feeling some, little physical pang here and there, it's all really for our healing and benevolence, because that's what this energy is made of. It's made to heal us, to nourish us, to regenerate. So yeah, does that help? Or
Yes, in a way. I guess the other part of it is that sensation of like my hand is a magnet, and that feeling of resistance versus
well, I'd say if it takes your attention away, then I'd say maybe just don't keep your hand up there for long. Maybe just like press it on your scalp and then bring it back to your lap, because the idea is we're going for that inner silence, that not sort of like wondering what's happening, or is my hand doing this or doing that. So if we just kind of say, okay, feeling something, bring it back down and see if you can feel a little more of that mental silence at that point. That would just be my advice. I mean, you can try. It's all an experiment, right? But
yes, I do get the silence. I just was wondering if it's always going to be that I'm looking for a breeze, or maybe this is the way my crown breezes.
I mean, again, we'll all feel according to our own unique selves. We'll all feel things a little bit in our own way. But I'd say looking for a breeze is probably a good plan. Yeah, whether warm or cool at the beginning. Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. So I just want to extend my gratitude to this force of nature that has brought us together. We call it Sahaja Yoga. I enjoyed immensely meeting with all my dear friends, David, Shilan, and Victoria. And so now what we'll do is people who do want to stay on a little bit longer and just enjoy this collective meditation, put on some music. And that'll be the end of tonight's program. And we invite you to please come by tomorrow and continue this enjoyment of meditating together with so many people. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.